So this is basically quite simple. And the simplicity is that this is all there is. That's the simplicity. It's effortless. What seems to be happening is absolutely effortlessly happening. That's the simplicity of it. Wholeness is already the case, if you want so. And it's what seems to be happening, being whole and complete. That's all there is. And there's nothing that can be added to this, nor is there anything that can be taken away from this. It's whole and complete. Within what happens, there seems to be one illusion. There's this one and only illusion. And this is the impression that there is a separate self. And the separate self, this illusion, is also the seeker. It's an energy, it's a dynamic. It's an energetic dynamic, if you want to. It's a story, but that's how one could describe the seeking energy. And usually this energy calls itself me. It's a kind of a self-experience, which is again energetic, but it calls itself me. It gives itself names, actually already in order to process itself. Because it can't just be. Part of that energy is the impression that I can't just be. I need to do something with myself. I need to make myself fulfilled. I need to make myself having arrived. This energy is kind of a living question mark, or an energetic question mark, as if there is a problem to be solved. That's where all the seeking comes from, or this impression that I need to do something. I need to make this whole and complete. I need to do something to make this whole and complete for myself. And that's an illusion. And as I said, it's basically the only illusion. Nothing else is an illusion. Everything else just is what seems to be happening. Everything else is the natural reality. And in a very funny way, of course, this illusion too is the natural reality, but exactly as what it is, an illusion, something that doesn't have any substance at all, something that doesn't, in that sense, that doesn't exist even. That's why there is never an answer. The seeker may ask a lot of questions. Well, in the end, it's one question. How can I become fulfilled? But it's this one question which will always remain without an answer. And there is no answer to it because it is an illusion. It's not that there is no answer to it, but it's real. There is no answer to it because it's an illusion. And all the questions that come out of it are illusory as well. It's an illusion just circling around within its own world. I am, something is missing, I need to do something, I get some results, certain experiences that may feel good. But all of that is artificial. All of that is the dream. And liberation would be nothing else than the collapse of that energy. It's the collapse of that dream as a whole. And after liberation, so to speak, there's nothing left. There's no certain experience left. That's what's meant when I say that there's nothing left. There is no certain way to experience life left. Then there's just what seems to be happening, which in the end has always been the case before as well, but it wasn't seen by the seeker. So there's just what seems to be happening. That's all there is, ever. And it's this. This is how wholeness looks like. And what it thinks and what it feels. It's all there is.
Is this no-goes is probably was what invokes fear in a lot of people, that there's no boundary or no
Oh, absolutely, yes. Because of the person can't really let go of this idea that there are no goes. Or for the person, there are always things that seem unbearable. And so when the person hears that the natural reality doesn't have any no-goes, it becomes afraid.
I think the whole church is around built around having a structure of rules and sets to kind of keep a person in a certain rail or direction. Yeah.
And the hope that certain things will not happen if I pray enough, if I live a good life, that bad things don't happen to me in the end. Yeah, I mean, they still do, but yeah.
But why is the fear then lost when this is seen? It's not only that there's no boundary, but there's also no fear, right?
Yes, because I mean, why the person has these no goes is because it would say, if this happens, if this or this or this would happen, I wouldn't be able to bear it anymore. The person is afraid of dying in the end. So the person says, if I would lose all my money, I wouldn't be able to feel happy and fulfilled anymore. Or worse, I wouldn't be able to be present anymore. So it's actually the fear of death that's connected to these no goes. And of course, when the person collapses, this fear collapses that something is unbearable for me.
In the Monday meeting in German, I think I said abgefahren, which kind of means maybe it could be translated as off the rails. So
Off the rails, far out.
yeah, far out, and occurred to me that this is off the rails. This,
Oh, yeah, it's far out. Yeah.
which is kind of, I don't know. It's something that like people also seek for, right? That is kind of the a thrill. There's a thrill to it in a way.
Well, absolutely. Yes. I mean, there are a lot of people who are seeking for more adventure, more thrill, but of course, not as much that they will die in it. So they usually want to keep this thrill still in an acceptable range. Oh, yeah, most people are bored with their existence and they want more. The whole pleasure seeking, adventure stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
And in that sense, this being nothing and completely boundless is the ultimate thrill. But then the person is afraid of dying into it. Because in a way, that's on the one hand the biggest no-go, but it's also the biggest adventure to just be what happens. That's so far out. That wholeness, totality is just this. This is whoa. Can't go there. It's too wild.
And the whole
Hey,
time,
Andreas.
sorry,
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Yes, hi.
Hi. Can I speak?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. Um, Sometimes it feels to me like uh, there's too much effort in just it's like a habit, but just keeping the body in focus. being conscious of the body, of the sensation or something like that.
All right. So
Is that like it feels like doing. It feels like effort.
yeah, so if it feels like effort, I understand that it also feels exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But there's nothing to it. It's just like that.
yeah, I mean you're not doing it. So
Mm. Okay, and I want to ask something else. Um, when we're talking about this separate self-energy,
mhm.
it seems like there is one part which is always doing for me. I'm doing now this because I want to be fulfilled later.
Yes.
And then, like, the other half is like a belief that there is somebody. It seems like two different things. And uh,
Yeah.
I don't know, theoretically, it's probably one. I don't know. But sometimes it feels like there is a one part which is always doing and trying and managing, controlling from the past what happened and what will happen. And then for somebody or someone who is there or but never seen.
Yes, it's just, it's you're right. It's not only theoretically one thing, it is the same personal experience. Those aren't really two things that can't be separated. They come together. The knowledge
Mhm.
about one's own presence, the self-experience, and the doing that comes out of it. So the me and the seeking are the same thing. The one can't be without the other.
Yeah, but the seeking is more obvious. The seeking when you're doing, when you're trying, it's more obvious. And when you want
Way
to
one could say,
find the one for who are you doing that, it's not that obvious.
yes, that's true. Yeah, the person can't see itself. It is kind of only aware of the symptoms. And one could say seeking is already kind of a symptom of this illusion. But yeah, it
Mhm.
can't really see itself because it's only looking from itself and it sees the seeking.
Yeah.
But it can't see that itself and the seeking are connected. That's why the me has lives in this illusion that it can get rid of the seeking because it thinks it's already something separate from itself. That's what my
Yeah, because believe
yeah.
yeah, because it believes that there is something separate. That's why it seeks. It lives in a world which is separate.
Exactly, and in a very funny way, it regards also the seeking as something that's separate from itself, but it
Yeah.
can't see that itself is the cause for the seeking.
Mm.
I mean, all seeking is about how can I get rid of seeking? How can I be without the seeking? As if
Yeah.
the seeking is separate from the me. Yeah, which it isn't.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Andreas?
Yeah, yes,
There is nothing wrong, you said, or there's,
yes.
but that doesn't mean that you're not gonna kick me out when I disturb the meeting in some ways.
Yeah, there's as you said, there's nothing wrong. Yeah.
You didn't answer my question.
Oh no, yeah, well, yeah, well, why? Why not? If kicking you out for misbehaving would happen, it wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah, I think there is the attempt to somehow,
Know it.
yeah, that's a way to put it.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean
I
that's
think a lot of the struggles here were around how to behave in social environments or how to behave in life.
mm, yes.
But there's nothing wrong doesn't mean there's still can be consequences to my actions or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not a personal freedom.
not a it's not a personal freedom. No.
No, yeah, there would just be what happens. There's a certain behavior which would be apparent, real and unreal, and there will be consequences that are real and unreal as well.
And the freedom is not for the person in the story. I think that is kind of the when this is seen here, it's always very sad to to see that's not for the person.
Yeah, of course, because that's the hope, of course, that it is for the person.
Yeah. Uh, it's in spite of the person is there's freedom, in spite of everything.
Yeah, one could say so, yeah. Yeah, I love it when, well, I don't really love it, but sometimes it's quite funny, at least, when people try to use this message to justify their own behavior, but criticizing others for theirs. My behavior is all whole and complete. I'm not wrong. So don't criticize me.
Mm.
Mm,
Thanks.
thank you. Everything just is exactly what it is. And everyone is just doing exactly what they are doing.
Hi, Andreas.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hello. It's interesting what you said about seeking being a symptom of the self, kind of like a disease or something. I'm sitting here with a cold, I have a virus and I have symptoms, right? But
Mm,
dealing with the symptoms, but like, there's no cure for this self disease, so to speak.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
And that's the
yeah.
absolutely illogical and unexplainable thing, how there can be symptoms of something which doesn't have any reality in the first place.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Okay.
Because it feels so real. For the person, it is an experienced reality, suffering from being someone. And yet there never really is someone. I can't, who could ever comprehend that? And yes, I wanted to say it almost, but there is no cure for the me. Turns out to be the cure. Well, it's part of it, yeah. Yeah, the whole idea of curing is coming from that illusion, as if anything is in the way between me and my fulfillment, between me and wholeness, that something needs to go away. Yeah. And in a very funny way, I mean, this can be misunderstood as well, of course it will, but in a very funny way, what the person fears most, that itself and its suffering is illusory, or that itself and its suffering is also whole and complete. That's what it fears most. That's what it's constantly trying to escape from, is what seems to be happening. And it's not as bad as it seems. That this is it too. Mm. Again, it's not logical. One can't learn that or know that or use that. It's a surprise. It's a surprising turning out that, again, that what the person was constantly trying to run away from, itself and all the symptoms of seeking, is just what seems to be happening. This is where this message becomes so direct and so unspiritual, where no solution is needed anymore at all, because it's all just what seems to be happening. And nothing makes a real difference in terms of fulfillment. And in that sense, apparently, I can just share. Can't be taught or learned or known or used. It's a surprise. The most unexpected. As I said, the one thing where the person would say, well, this certainly can't be it. It's just what seems to be happening. Which also isn't a pointing to some mysterious spiritual escape reality or something. No. This has absolutely nothing to do with any kind of concept about reality. And again, I think I said it now a few times, it's the most unbelievable thing that what happens is all there is, and that that's the natural reality, and that that's what's actually longed for in that sense.
Andreas, is there a time for me? Just one more question to ask. Okay, so I think like I'm trying to engage and put some effort to understanding or to understand it, to feel something subtle,
Yeah,
some
that's good.
like mental intellectual thing.
Yeah.
And in that trying, at some point I stop because there is too much effort. I cannot stand it anymore. And only then when I stop and then I feel that I I had that effort. I was putting all that effort, and when I
Yeah.
like stop, only then I feel that it was there.
How much effort it was actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it feels like a relief.
Okay. So you
So
are there to enjoy the relief and to see the effort after a while again when the relief
yeah,
becomes unfulfilling.
yeah. So it's like a cycle which will not stop.
Well, it will stop when you turn out to be an illusion, but then you will also stop. It won't stop for you. It will stop when there's no you anymore. And I
Yeah.
think the important thing, well, important, but the interesting thing is that both belong to the dream of being someone. The efforting and the relief from the break from efforting. Because it would still be you noticing it, you enjoying the relief, you understanding that the effort was a problem and that you shouldn't make this effort anymore. So very quickly you invent, I guess, another story about good and bad and right and wrong. But that's why the effort comes out of it again, because the experience of relief also has nothing to do with liberation. So you just cycle between doing, relaxing, doing, relaxing. But both is the me in that sense.
Yeah, but when that effort stop and collapses, let's say that small effort, it is seen that it wasn't needed. So
That's
the next time I don't know where to put even effort. Something like that.
yeah,
I
but
don't know even where to look or try or how to do it.
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That's
That's
okay. Yeah. Yes.
good. So far, so good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So all there is what seems to be happening. No one's doing anything. There is no one who's imprisoned into what seems to be happening, and there is no one who can and will be freed from what seems to be happening. There is no one. There's just what seems to be happening. It's this. Thanks a lot for joining. I wish you a lovely day and night and evening. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much.